My rest and peace may be known by moving things which know my balance in them, and keep balance in them while thus moving. Moving things which manifest my knowing by equal interchanging void their moving, and thus find rest. But those which manifest me unequally cannot wholly void their moving. These shall leave an unvoided residue of motion as a debt of unbalance, which must be paid to me before my rest may be known in them. For I am balance, and all moving things which extend from me must manifest my balance in them. And I am law. No rest can there be, nor can there be peace, while my law remains broken by unbalance, even by one whit. For verily, I give rest to moving things by equally dividing light of my knowing at rest in me, to extending and retracting lights of my thinking. Know thou that as my knowing is balanced and at rest in me, so is my thinking balanced and at rest in me. The extending light of my thinking multiplies the oneness of my knowing into many ones, to mother them as formed bodies made in pattern images of my knowing. The retracting light gathers all the many ones together into my oneness to father them in seed, soul seed of me, for again borning into pattern forms of many ones. In this wise my formless knowing is imaged in many patterned moving forms, which seek rest from moving in the formlessness of my unity, for reborning as many patterned moving forms. For I am rest, in my rest is my knowing, for my rest extends my balanced electric thinking. In action and reaction of my thinking, I am balanced always, for I am balance, and I am also rest. When man's thinking is balanced in him, as it is in me, then shall he know rest in me as I know rest in me. Then shall his thinking be the ecstasy of his knowing, as my thinking is the ecstasy of my knowing. Know thou that mind of me is ecstatic always. I know neither grief nor pain, sorrow nor compassion, anger nor wrath, for these are qualities of unbalance, and unbalance is not in my house. Know thou that these unbalanced qualities are product of man's unbalanced thinking. They alone are in him. They are not in me. He who knows not me in him first thinks himself as one of many separate and separable forms, apart from all things else, and me. In those his early days he knows not me in him, not suspecting me in him, even though his slightest move is mine, yea, even though his very breathing is desiring me that he should breathe, to manifest me in him, though unknowingly. Man then knows not himself as one of seeming many forms of my imagining which spring from rest in me to manifest my knowing. Throughout long eons he walks the path of dark to find the path of light which leads to me. For I say that refoldment into self of me is not known by man for long eons, even as self of me is not known by him as self of him for long, long eons. In man's thinking, man begins to live as he leaves the mother womb which born him. And when he returns the clay of him to clay of earth, he thinks of life as ending, knowing not that its beginning never was, nor could its ending be. For I say that life is alone in light of me, as love and knowing are alone in me. Tell thou to man that he who thinks life lives in him, knowing not my life in him, dies as often as he lives to die again. But he who lives to manifest me, knowing me in him, never dies. He who knows not me in him, write thou, therefore, that he who would find rest from burdens of his earth must transcend his earth, and be not bound thereto. Even far above the mountain tops of earth he must rise into my kingdom of the light which I am, as he also is, when he knows he also is. Say to man these my very words: behold in me the fulcrum of my changing universe, which but manifest change, though I change not, nor move. For I am rest, in me alone is balance. He who would find power must know that he extends from rest in me, that I am he. He who would find rest must return to me, be fulcrum of his own power. For again, I say, moving things have no power to move, save through my will that they should move. And again I say, my will is but desire of my imagining for manifesting my imaginings, through form-imaged extensions of my thinking, which manifest my knowing. Know thou, therefore, that power to move is in my will for things to move, in obedience to desire in me, that moving things manifest my imagining. I center the moving shaft of my universe, yet I move not, though its power to move springs from rest in me. I center its growing systems and changing cells of growing systems, yet I change not, even though their changing, patterned waves spring from my eternal calm. I center seeming living things which reflect my power to manifest me in them, but they live not, I alone live. My balanced thinking expresses life and energy which I alone am. But the thinker of the cosmos is not the cosmos, nor is the cosmos the thinker. Growing things are moving things in man's sensing, though they move not in man's knowing. Likewise, moving things are changing things in man's sensing, though they change not in man's knowing. Even though fast-moving things of man's sensing move fast, they simulate my rest while moving, from which they sprang into seeming motion. Again I say, my universe is but seeming forms of my imagining, which seem to move to record the dual pulsing of my balanced thinking. Wherefore I say the burdens of man are made by man in the image of his unbalanced thinking. Likewise the illnesses of man are fruit of his own making. Balanced thinking is an ecstasy which knows no burden, no fatigue, nor imperfection. From man's own unbalanced thinking emanate the toxins of fatigue and divers sicknesses and fears. Wherefore I say, come unto me, ye self-burdened, find rest in me, by being me. These are the words of thy Creator and mine, written truly from his illumining in me upon the mountain top.